So we have just wrapped up on the 72-hour fast, which ended up being 80 hours. And although I was like struggling around the sort of 65 to 70 hour mark, I did manage to wait out till 3 a.m. last night when I had Holy Communion, which was my first thing to have breaking the fast. And straight after that, I had this little olive oil shot, which is my high phenolic value olive oil. I'll talk to you more about these pods in another video, but this just lines the gut lining ready for the food to come in. And then I got back and actually was going to have bone broth, but I just literally did cave. Ended up having some beautiful soup on avgolemonin for the Greeks out there. Woke up this morning, had some more soup with some chicken, literally just boiled chicken. And then about 2 hours later, I've had some eggs and a little bit of fruit. And then obviously the big Greek Easter blowout is coming in the next couple of hours. So although it was hard, I did manage over 80 hours. And although I could easily have just given up at 72 and have done great, right? I've got this philosophy of doing what I said long after the motivation of when I said it has passed. So when I said I was going to do the 72 hours, but then I was going to break my fast with Holy Communion at 3 in the morning, everything in my body was just telling me just to go for it. And I did a poll, and these are the results of the poll. Most people said just, you've come this far, go for it. And I was like, if I expect people to come into the team, coach people to some of the best shape that they've ever been in, maybe reverse a lot of long-term damage in terms of their health, it does get tough. And when they're on the calls with me, they're super motivated and they're getting started. But when they're in the process, they do find it a little bit tougher. What example am I setting if I give up at 72 hours and don't do what I actually said I wanted to do just because it was getting a bit tough? So this isn't a motivational post. It's a little bit of self-reflection, understanding that it gets tough for all of us. It's not just you guys. But this is just to remind you that when you set yourself a challenge, you must expect that you're going to go through some short-term pain whilst trying to achieve that challenge. But just focusing on the long-term pleasure of achieving it will always outweigh the short-term pain that you're in right now. But most people are stuck in that avoidance of that short-term pain, which always costs them long-term pleasure. So if you do want to set yourself a challenge, but achieving that long-term pleasure is so much more rewarding than avoiding that short-term pain.